Hello, friends. Spooky season is rolling right along here on the SoBros Book Club, and today we're going to be talking about a short, thrilling novel that I picked up a few years ago, Beast by Paul Kingsnorth. So I bought this one a couple of years ago down at my favorite bookstore in the world, Harper's Books in Lebanon, Tennessee, and I thought, ooh man, this is going to be my spooky season read for this spooky season. So I stashed it on my bookshelf, waited until October, and then I flipped it open for the first time. It's like 164 pages. I was just completely riveted by this book, and I ended up finishing it in 3 sittings. See, I'm a slow reader. I got a lot of stuff going on, and I can't just sit down and read an entire book in one afternoon. I kind of thought like, well, I'll get through this, by the week before Halloween or whatever. Nope, it was so gripping that I just sat down and housed this thing by October 3rd. And then I'm left looking around my bookshelf like, well, I guess I'm going to read something else for spooky season now. A spot just opened up. But there are times that this book borders on poetry and just its love for the written word and composition. And Kingsnorth gets kind of outside the box with how he writes this. The prose in this book gets a little sloppier. Words aren't capitalized. There's run-on sentences. It all kind of blurs together the deeper into this book that you get, which I really dug. I get some people were critical of it. It gets kind of hard to read by the end, but I feel like that's an intentional thing to reflect our main character's deterioration as the story goes on. I mean, what's spookier than a good old-fashioned descent into madness? But if you want to know what Beast is about, let's read the synopsis here. Beast plunges you into the world of Edward Buckmaster, a man alone on an empty moor in the west of England. What he has left behind we don't yet know. What he faces is an existential battle with himself, the elements, and something he begins to see in the margins of his vision. Some creature that is tracking him, the pursuit of which will become an obsession. I do think this is technically, I don't know if it's like if you would say it's a sequel to his novel, The Wake, but when I bought this book, I looked up, like, do you have to read The Wake before you can read Beast? And it's no, it's kind of like, I think it's like a similar universe thing. I went ahead and read it, and I enjoyed it just fine without having read The Wake, which I've later picked up off of a shelf somewhere before. I've seen 2 of Kingsnorth's novels in the wild, and after reading Beast, I was like, I gotta have these. I don't care what they cost. I'm usually a used bookstore guy, but I'll pay full prices for this. That's how much I liked Beast. I really liked the way that Beast was written. I really loved the tense moments. You really feel like you're isolated and you're alone as you're reading this. And it is one of those books that the deeper you get into it, the more you start questioning your own sanity. Like, am I comprehending this correctly? What's happening? And I feel like that's a creative choice that Kingsnorth executes beautifully in this novel. Little bit of a good old-fashioned creature feature in here as well. You read Beast, you feel like something's watching you.